Harlem's melody. In the heart of 1920s New York City, Harlem was alive with the rhythm of jazz, the pulse of poetry, and the colors of creativity. Among the bustling streets, a group of young artists, musicians, and writers forged their paths, seeking to leave their mark on the world. Meet Maya, a talented painter with a vision as vibrant as the city itself, her brush strokes capturing the essence of Harlem's soul. Jazz flowed through the veins of Miles, a trumpet player whose melodies echoed through the smoky air of speakeasies and underground clubs. Words danced on the pages of Langston's notebook, poetry that spoke of pain, hope, and the beauty found in the everyday struggles of life. Together, they formed a tight-knit circle, bound by their love for art and their desire to change the world around them. As they wandered through Harlem's streets, they found inspiration in every corner, from the graffiti-covered walls to the jazz-filled nights. But amidst the creativity and camaraderie, challenges lurked, reminders of the inequalities that still plagued society. Maya faced discrimination as a woman of color in the art world, her talent often overlooked in favor of less deserving peers. Miles battled against the stereotypes that labeled him as nothing more than a musician, his dreams of greatness dismissed by those who couldn't see past his race. And Langston struggled to find his voice in a world that seemed determined to silence him, his poetry met with skepticism and scorn. Yet, despite the obstacles they faced, they refused to be silenced, their passion for their art burning brighter with each passing day. Together, they carved out a space for themselves in Harlem's cultural landscape, their voices rising above the noise of prejudice and oppression. They performed in smoky jazz clubs, their music weaving tales of love and loss that resonated with audiences far and wide. They hosted poetry readings in dimly lit salons, their words sparking conversations about race, identity, and the power of art to change the world. And they painted murals on the walls of abandoned buildings, transforming forgotten spaces into vibrant testaments to the resilience of the human spirit. Along the way, they found allies in unexpected places, individuals who saw the beauty in their work and the importance of their message. There was Marcus, a wealthy patron of the arts who funded Maya's first solo exhibition, ensuring that her talent would not go unnoticed. And there was Ella, a journalist who wrote glowing reviews of Miles's performances, helping to elevate him to superstar status in the jazz world. Through it all, they leaned on each other for support, their friendship a source of strength in the face of adversity. Maya's paintings became a symbol of hope for the people of Harlem, their colors reflecting the resilience and vibrancy of the community. Miles's trumpet echoed through the streets, its sound a rallying cry for those who dared to dream of a better world. And Langston's words found their way into the hearts of millions, his poetry inspiring generations to come. As the years passed, their fame grew, their names becoming synonymous with the Harlem Renaissance and all that it stood for. But amidst the accolades and adulation, they never forgot where they came from or the struggles that had shaped them. They continued to fight for equality and justice, using their platform to amplify the voices of those who had been silenced for too long. And though they faced setbacks and obstacles along the way, they never lost sight of the vision that had brought them together in the first place. Then, one fateful night, as they gathered in a smoky jazz club to celebrate their latest successes, they realized just how far they had come. Maya's paintings adorned the walls, their colors shimmering in the dim light, a testament to the beauty of the human spirit. Miles's trumpet sang out, its melody weaving through the air, a reminder of the power of music to unite and inspire. And Langston's words filled the room, their poetry stirring hearts and minds, a call to action for all who heard them. As they looked around at the faces of their friends and fellow artists, they knew that they had achieved something truly special. For they had not only created art, but they had also created a movement, one that would continue to inspire and uplift long after they were gone. And though their journey had been long and difficult, they knew that it had been worth it, for they had found not only success but also love and friendship along the way. As the night drew to a close and they made their way out into the bustling streets of Harlem, they knew that their work was far from over. There were still battles to be fought and injustices to be righted, but they faced the future with hope and determination, knowing that together, they could overcome anything. And so, they continued to create, to perform, and to speak out, their voices ringing out across the city like a clarion call for change. And though the world around them may have changed, their commitment to their art and to each other remained unwavering. For they were not just artists, musicians, and writers, they were the torchbearers of a movement, the guardians of a legacy that would live on long after they were gone. And as they looked towards the horizon, they knew that the best was yet to come, for they were the children of Harlem, and their story was far from over. In the years that followed, their influence would be felt far and wide, their work inspiring countless others to pick up their brushes, their instruments, and their pens. And though they may have started out as a group of young artists, musicians, and writers, they would end up as legends, their names etched into the annals of history for all time. For theirs was a story of hope, of resilience, and of the transformative power of art to change the world. And as the sun set on another day in Harlem, they knew that their legacy would endure, a beacon of light in a world that too often seemed dark and cold. For they were the pioneers of a new era, the vanguard of a movement that would reshape the cultural landscape for generations to come. And though they may have faced adversity and opposition along the way, they had never wavered in their belief that a better world was possible. So as they looked back on all they had accomplished, they knew that they had not only left their mark on Harlem but on the world itself. Though absent, their essence thrived in jazz, paint, and poetry, echoing through Harlem's streets. They were its heart, their tale unfinished. As the years turned into decades and the decades into centuries, their legacy only grew stronger, their names becoming synonymous with the Harlem Renaissance and all that it represented. And though they may have been gone, their spirit lived on in the vibrant streets of Harlem, in the music that filled its clubs, and in the art that adorned its walls. Their influence reverberated through the generations, inspiring new waves of artists, musicians, and writers to pick up the torch and carry on their legacy. The Harlem Renaissance became not just a moment in history but a movement that transcended time, its impact felt in every corner of the globe. And though the world continued to change and evolve, the spirit of the Harlem Renaissance remained as vibrant and alive as ever. For it was a spirit of resilience, of creativity, and of hope, a spirit that could never be extinguished. And so, as the years passed and the world marched ever forward, the children of Harlem watched from above, proud of all they had accomplished and hopeful for all that was still to come. For theirs was a story that would never be forgotten, a story of courage, of passion, and of the enduring power of art to change the world. As long as there were dreamers and believers willing to carry on their legacy, the spirit of the Harlem Renaissance would live on, a beacon of light in a world that sometimes seemed dark and uncertain. For they were the children of Harlem, and their story was one of triumph, of perseverance, and of the boundless possibilities that lay ahead.